It's alright. I'm just gonna drop it if I fucking can't do it. So today we're gonna talk about things that you're doing wrong that are stopping you from building your quads. We're gonna start with leg press, because today we're doing legs. So I'm gonna show you guys as we go. The leg press, first thing I'm seeing wrong is depth. You need to be going deep enough. So you wanna bring your knees back until they are 90 degrees. You don't wanna lift your butt off the pad. You want to bring your knees back as far as you can until your butt starts to round off the pad. Once your butt starts to round off the pad, you've gone too far. So that's number one. Number two, your feet on the pad. So when your feet are on the pad, if they're up on the higher end of the pad, you're gonna work more hamstring. On the lower end of the pad, you're gonna work more quad now. So you wanna keep your feet lower on the pad, but you wanna make sure you always stay on your heels. Okay, so the second thing is foot placement. Lastly, most important thing for legs, and actually all the exercises you're gonna see, is lots of volume. So heavy weight plus lots of reps. We're not doing singles and doubles. On the leg press, we're going 15 to 20. On the squat, we're going 8 to 12. But we're not doing anything with singles, doubles, triples. That's gonna build strength, but it's not gonna build the mass and the volume you want. So those are three things on the leg press you need to take care of to make sure you're building out those quads. All right, guys, we're at the squat rack. This to me is the ultimate mass builder for legs. Now, we're not just talking about quads, because there's other ways to isolate the quads, like a hack squat and things like that. But if we're talking overall mass builder for legs, squats are the best in my opinion, because you're gonna target the whole leg, the quad, the adductor, the hamstrings, the glutes, everything's gonna get activated. So you're building that real dense, thick mass in your legs, so it's important to learn how to do the squat. Now, number one thing I see done wrong, depth. You guys aren't going deep enough, okay? You gotta go at least 90 degrees. That means the top of your quad has to be parallel to the ground. So get yourself down 90 degrees, 90-degree bend in the knee, that's what that means. That's number one. Number two, your feet have to stay planted. Heels, you should be pushing off your heels. Your heels have to stay on the ground. If you're rolling up on your toes and you see space between your heels, that's no good. You're not activating the quad fully, and you're putting a lot of stress on your knees. You gotta make sure your feet are wide enough. I know you guys wanna do a close stance, so you activate your sweep and all that, but if you don't have the flexibility, it doesn't matter. You gotta go wide enough so that you can stay on the heel when you're squatting. You don't want to roll up on your toes. So if you have a training partner, make sure he watches your feet and make sure your heels are staying flush on the ground. Number three, head up, okay? A lot of times I see people squatting a lot of weight because they want to squat real heavy, but they're really just bending their back and doing like half a good morning and half a squat. If you keep your head up, it'll keep your chest up. If your head and chest are up, it'll keep your back more straight, and you can focus more on the quads and not so much on the low back. If you're getting a really sore lower back when you're squatting, it could be because you're bending over too far. So pick a spot on the mirror in front of you and keep your eyes on it. That way, you make sure your head will stay up, your chest will stay up, and your back will stay in line. Everything will be working properly. It's all about technique, it's not about weight. You can pile on a ton of weight. If your technique sucks, your legs aren't gonna grow as fast as you want them to. All right, guys, we're at the leg extension, and this is obviously a staple in everybody's leg workout, but it's not just to pump blood. What we want to do is really, really activate the center of the quad. We're trying to get these two muscles. The way to do that is not just to get on here and rip it, right? You want to pull your toes. If these are my feet, you want to pull your toes all the way back. Pull your toes back as hard as you can and then lift. And what that's gonna do is activate that center of your quad. So when you're standing on stage, when you stand relaxed, you got your quads split into four. And that's what we wanna do here. The other thing The second thing you want to do is, we got the seat pulled back a little bit so that when we sit down and our legs get in there, we get a good stretch in our quad. So seat back. The second thing is, we have this dial set so that this leg pad is really underneath us, because we don't want to leave it sticking out here or else we're not going to get a big enough range of motion. We want that pad to come underneath our body so that we get a big stretch in the quad. So that's number 2. Number 3, high volume, okay? I don't believe in like stacking a ton of weight on here, whether you put it at the beginning of your workout or at the end of your workout. I feel like doing the stack on a leg extension is gonna do more damage to your knees than actually build your quads. So we keep it light. I only got 120 on there, but I'm doing these last in my workout, so I don't need a ton of weight, but I'm gonna do 20 to 25 reps. I'm just gonna burn the shit out of my quads, pump as much blood into them and get them on fire before I walk out of here. All right, guys, that's your quad tips. 3 of the most important movements for quads. Got you guys sorted out on how to do them. Take it back to the gym, do that shit. Let me know how it feels. Let me know how bad your quads burn. And before I go, I just want to say thank you to everybody who subscribed to the channel. We broke 100,000 subscribers, and I appreciate all the comments and all the support, man. Thank you guys very much. More videos coming soon.